Hello traders, and welcome to another exciting edition of our weekly XAUSD and GBPUSD trade analysis. Okay, so I'm excited to be here with you as we dive into the dynamic world of Forex trading. So in today's video, we'll be dissecting the price action for XAUSD and GBPUSD, identifying key and potential levels on the charts, and discussing potential strategies for the week ahead.
Welcome back to our weekly forecast for this week. Remember last week we did a top-down analysis and we ascertained that price was going to move upward to either of this resistance zone right here, of which it did. So for this week, as you can see, price came back to retest this resistance zone right here, just like we expected for last week. Right here on my screen is GBP USD on the daily time frame. This was a very valid support zone for last week on GBP USD. As you can see, price retested this zone quite a couple of times. So for next week, guys, to be expecting GBP USD to continue to the downside, since it has broken out of this resistance zone right here to this support zone right here. But on the flip side, if GBP/USD decides to reverse from the current position where it is, since it's already showing some rejection, we'll be expecting price to move upward to this resistance zone, or possibly break out of it to the next resistance zone just above. So right here on the daily time frame, just like I said, we'll be expecting a continuation of price downward to this zone right here. But on the flip side, if price decides, to reverse from the current position where it is, based on some rejection which it has shown last week, we'll be expecting a reversal of price, to the upside, to respect this resistance zone right here, or most likely break out of it to the next resistance zone just above, guys. So quickly, we'll move over to the 4 hours time frame so we can get a closer look of these zones we're looking at on the higher time frame there. So right here is GBP USD on the 4 hours time frame, guys. As you can see, the key zones that we were looking out for on the higher time frame are also very visible on the 4 hours time frame, guys. So as you can see right here, you can see this is quite a very visible resistance zone. This is also a very visible resistance zone right here. This also is a very visible resistance zone of which price is about to turn into a support. So guys, for the 4 hours time frame, we'll be expecting price to continue downward, guys. We'll be expecting a continuation of price to the downside. But on the flip side, like I said on the higher time frame, if price decides to reverse from its current position, we'll be expecting price to move upward to respect this resistance zone right here, which I'm going to extend, or possibly break out of it to the next resistance zone just above. So we are expecting a continuation of price for next week to this support zone right here. But on the flip side scenario, if price decides to reverse from its current position, we'll be expecting a continuation to the upside from price to respect this resistance zone, just like we expected on the daily time frame. We are expecting price to respect this resistance zone, or possibly break out of it to the next resistance zone, which is right above it. So guys, we also look down on the 1 hour time frame so we can get a closer look at this possible breakout and retest of price. Alright guys, this is the 1 hour time frame for GBP USD. So as you can see on the 1 hour time frame, there are more visible and clear zones that we need to be looking out for. So this zone is one of them. This zone, as you can see, price has been ranging in between this zone for a while here on the 1 hour time frame. So guys, as you can see, this is a valid support on the 1 hour time frame. So we'll be expecting price to continue to the upside for the 1 hour time frame, guys, on GBP USD. So for next week, we'll be expecting price to continue to the upside to respect either of this resistance zone right here. But on the flip side, on the flip scenario, if price decides to continue downward, we'll be expecting price to continue downward to this support zone right here. So we are expecting a continuation of price on the 1 hour time frame to respect this resistance zone, or possibly break out of it to the next resistance zone just above. But on the flip side, if price decides to continue downward, since it's already on a downward movement, we'll be expecting price to continue downward from where it is to this support zone right here, guys. So guys, generally on GBP USD, we're expecting a continuation to the downside, to the next support zone just below. But on the flip side, if price decides to continue upward, we'll be expecting price to respect either of the resistance zone just above. Alright guys, right here on my screen is XAU USD on a daily time frame. So guys, as you can see on my screen on a daily time frame for XAU USD, price moved on. Price came back to retest this very valid support which has been holding for weeks, and then it moved on to this zone right here. So for next week on the daily time frame for gold, we'll be expecting some continuation to the upside, guys. We'll be expecting continuation to the upside for gold. So on the daily time frame for gold, we'll be expecting a continuation to the upside to respect this zone right here, the resistance zone. On the flip side, if price decides to continue downward, that's a reversal to the downside, we'll be expecting a drop to this support zone right here before there's any movement to the upside, guys. So I'll just move over to the 4 hours time frame so we can get a closer look at these zones. So guys, this is the 4 hours time frame for XAUUSD. As you can see, the zones that we marked out are still clearly visible. I'll just take this off right here. Okay, so as you can see, this is a very valid resistance zone that has been holding for a while. This is also a resistance zone that has been holding for a while, guys. So right here, as you can see, price retested this resistance zone, came down, consolidated for a while before retesting this zone, also came down and consolidated for a while, and is also at this zone. So we'll be expecting some downward movement of price to still come back to retest this support zone right here on the 4 hours time frame before continuation to the upside. But on the flip side, we'll be expecting some continuation to the upside to respect this zone before any movement downward, guys. So I'll just draw that out real quick, guys. So we'll be expecting price to still come down, continuation to the downside for next week, guys, to respect this support zone right here. But on the flip side, if price decides to continue upward from where it is currently, we'll be expecting price to move up to respect this zone, or possibly break out of it to the next resistance zone just above that. So guys, we'll still move over to the 1 hour time frame so we can get a clearer picture of those zones that we need to be looking out for or paying close attention to, guys. So guys, right here on my screen is XAUUSD on the 1 hour time frame. As you can see, the consolidation of price has been clearly visible on the 1 hour time frame around the zone, as you can see, guys. So for next week, guys, I'll just zoom this out. For next week, we'll be expecting some downward movement for price to respect this support zone right here. But on the flip side, if price decides to continue upward from its current position, we're expecting price to respect this resistance zone right here, guys. So we'll be expecting some downward movement from price from its current position for next week. So we're expecting price to come down to respect this support zone right here before there's a continuation to the upside. But on the flip side, if price decides to continue to the upside, we're expecting movement to the upside to respect this resistance zone right here. So guys, generally for XAUUSD gold, we're expecting some downward movement of price for next week to respect the very valid support zone which has been holding for some time now. But on the flip side, if price decides to change its direction to continue upward, we'll be expecting price to move upward to respect this resistance zone right here on the 1 hour time frame, or possibly break out of it to the next resistance zone just above. So that will be all for XAUUSD. Okay guys, thank you so much for joining us on this week's episode of our weekly forecast. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and also turn on the notification so as to get notified on whenever we post our weekly forecast. And also guys, please don't forget to join us on our weekly webinars which are hosted every Wednesdays. You You can check through the description of this video to get the link to our Telegram channel. Please don't miss out on the webinars. It's always educative, always captivating, and we share insights on forex trading as a whole. Please join us. Much love from Chinex FX. See you next week, same time, same station. GMGM, guys.